Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Forking Around Town podcast. I'm super excited for today. I am joined by Andi Bennett of the Sunburst Inn, and we're going to talk a little bit about this unique place to stay here in Florida and why it's so special. So, Andi, how are you?
I'm fabulous. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So, this is my first time here. I haven't had a chance to really experience everything. So I wanted to get a little background on the story of this beautiful property and how it came to be.
Sure. So my husband and I and some friends of ours actually were presented with this property about 7 years ago. And originally our thought was just kind of as a land play because the housing industry was a little bit rough. Financing was a little bit rough, but our plan was to ultimately knock it down and to put up townhouses. Okay. However, through the years, as we started coming here, we started meeting the guests who were here, and we really started to know the community of Indian Shores. We just fell in love with it. And I was like, I don't want to knock it down. I really want to keep it, and I want to make it something super, super special. It was already special as far as the location, but it needed some TLC. It definitely needed some TLC.
Yeah. Well, I have to be honest. I've lived, this is my 20th anniversary this year of living
in Florida.
In Florida.
Cool.
Yeah. And I'm trying to kind of take a few steps back and really explore places that I haven't had a chance. And this is one of those areas. Yeah. I've only been here to do a few races on the beach, and that's about it. So I've never stayed out here, and I'm excited that the community just seems so inviting and everyone's so friendly.
It's a great little community. So Indian Shores, I like to say, is the little sister of Indian Rocks Beach.
Okay.
So if you were to sneeze and drive by it, you wouldn't realize that it was here. But it is a great community of about 1,800 people. Indian Rocks Beach has like 6,000 or 7,000.
Okay.
So we are just a small beach town community with little mom and pop shops and bars and restaurants. And it's just cute. It's just cute. Really it's fun. It's just very inviting and warm. It's not the chaos of, say, Clearwater Beach or St. Pete Beach. Yes. Which 20 years ago, I would have been like, oh, put me in the middle of that. Right. That's what I want.
Right.
Now I'm like, oh, don't you dare put me in the middle of that.
Exactly.
So it's very family friendly, but it's great for like a girl's trip or, a guy's trip. It's just a really cute space.
It really is. And I have to say, just kind of walking up to the property, immediately I felt a sense of peace and just feeling relaxed right away. It's just, it's so, like, living in Florida, we are so lucky.
Very.
We are. But I'm one of those that doesn't take advantage of living in Florida. And that's my goal for this year, is to really take a step back and start enjoying some of these beautiful places that I'm lucky enough to call home.
Because it's in our backyard.
It is.
But you get busy between work and family and life and everything else, and you don't realize, oh, the beach is actually only 30 minutes away from me. I probably should get my butt there a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now you guys were recently on HGTV.
We were.
Tell me how that came about, because that's such an exciting story.
It was. So during COVID, we were watching a lot of TV, and my husband and I were watching a show on another network, and it was two women who had renovated a beachside or a roadside motel.
Okay.
And already I had been thinking about what we were going to do with Sunburst Inn. We either needed to really, in order to make it profitable, we either needed to move forward with a renovation or we needed to go ahead and tear it down, which I really didn't want to do. But, if you have a business and you're doing so much work and only making so much money, then really you have a hobby.
Correct.
And so, it needed to be something profitable. So anyway, I watched this other show and I was like, not only do I think we really need to move forward with the renovation, but I think we can get it on TV because people love this kind of stuff, right? People love renovation shows, especially for some sort of mom and pop little place. We only have 12 rooms, so we are truly a mom and pop inn. Anyway, so I just kind of put it out there to the universe. I had no idea how to make that happen, what to do, how to make it work, anything like that. But so Mika and Brian, who are the hosts of our show, live in the Tampa Bay area. And in her life outside of the show, Mika is a real estate agent. And so she ended up in my husband's office. Shortly after I started speaking that out to the universe, she ended up with one of her clients in my husband's office for a potential new build. My husband is a builder.
Okay.
So he had a piece of property that Mika's client was interested in for a new build. So Mika was going to be her real estate agent for this client. And she was like, oh, by the way, my husband and I have this TV show. This house could potentially be a great build for the show.
Right.
Do you have any other projects that you're starting as well? And And he didn't at the time, but he's like, but there is this other project that my wife and I have that we're going to start potentially doing a renovation on. And this is kind of something that we have been thinking about. And so it all just kind of came together beautifully. So they came out here, they checked it out. They had never done a commercial project as part of their show. It's always new builds.
Okay.
So they had never done a commercial project like this. So it was new territory for them as well. I'm sure slightly terrifying. But so they loved it and they were all on board. And so then the ball just kind of started rolling from there. And then one thing led to another. And we were part 1 and part 2 of their show, 100 Day Dream Home, for this season, for the opener.
God,
it was pretty
fantastic.
exciting.
That really, really is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I imagine like it just generated so much buzz
Of course.
after that.
Yes, for sure. So just the fact that we had a brand new facelift, obviously that in and of itself generated a lot of buzz. But, there was attention being placed on us that we could have never otherwise had without them. So we're extremely grateful and appreciative of that. And so people who weren't necessarily just in the Tampa Bay area got to hear about not only Sunburst Inn, but Indian Shores, because a lot of people hadn't heard about us before and hadn't heard about this little slice of paradise, as I like to call it. We're only 45 minutes outside of Tampa.
Right.
And it is a quiet, quaint community. So a lot of times people would maybe not have known about it.
And I was actually just thinking that when I was kind of reading up about the property and stuff, and I never really knew where Indian Shores was. I always just knew Indian Rocks, and that was it.
Yeah, like I said, you sneeze and you miss it when you're driving through.
Yeah, that's, oh my gosh. Yeah. So what do you think about this property makes you stand out from others that are in this area?
Well, we are really lucky. We are the only beachfront hotel in Indian Shores. It's just us.
Okay.
So there's plenty of Airbnbs. There's plenty of vacation rentals, but we are the only beachfront hotel in Indian Shores. We're 75 years old. So that was something that during the renovation was really important to me, that we continued to pay homage to the fact that it is an old mom and pop beachfront hotel. So I didn't want it to look like something super modern. It needed to still look retro and beachy and a little bit older, but with just some unique modern flares to it. So I think that's something really unique about us, is that we're it. Like, we are the only hotel here in Indian Shores. Like I said, there's a lot of vacation rentals, but we are the only beachfront hotel.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So what is the wait list right now? Like, let's say somebody wants to book a stay, like how far in advance would you recommend they look into reserving a place?
Sure. So it really depends on the time of year. So for example, in Florida, high season is typically January through March, right? That's when kids have spring break, when a lot of people take vacations right before Easter holiday. So that tends to be high season for us. I will say, since the airing of the show, usually summertime is a little bit slower because it's hot here, right?
Yeah, it is.
We were packed this whole summer. Every room was packed this whole summer. So it depends. Right now, things are a little bit quieter because kids are back in school. So it kind of ebbs and flows.
Right.
So it really just depends. So if you follow us on social media, on our Instagram or Facebook, you can see oftentimes when we've got like a last minute opening. There's openings for sure. It's not like we're totally slammed and we have no availability at all. Weekends, of course, are much harder to come by than during the week. What I love about here also, and I don't know if you're maybe planning on sharing a little bit of a tour or throughout your stay, if you want to, post pictures of some of the rooms, but the way that the rooms are set up, if somebody works from home, why not work from home here?
Exactly.
Why not work from home with the beach as your view instead of just a cubicle? So we do have people who will come who have that opportunity to work from home, and they can just do it here.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing as I'm here.
Yeah,
have to say.
Yeah, it doesn't suck.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I think just looking out at the water, it just automatically lifts your spirits.
I know.
Yeah. I'm very much a beach person. I mean, I'm a Pisces water sign. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm really big on that because I do feel that there is something to be said about.
Sure.
I represent every aspect of a Pisces too. So
I'm Gemini. So.
Oh, that's another water sign? No, that's not.
I don't think it's water.
No. I was thinking something else, but yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's very
cool. Like I said, it really depends on the time of year. And on the day of the week too, because just like in a regular hotel, weekends tend to book up faster,
Right.
and most of the times there tends to be a little bit more availability during the week.
That's awesome. Yes. I'll actually be, showcasing for everybody. You'll be able to see very extensive tours of the property. I'm really excited to showcase everything, and I feel like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get going.
It's fun. And I mean, definitely while you're here, hop on the bike. We provide bikes complimentary for our guests. I saw those when I pulled up. Boards, and we have a barbecue and beach umbrellas and beach chairs and all the fun things that are all complimentary to our guests. But if you have the opportunity, just hop on a bike, ride down the shore, go to the little coffee shop and the ice cream parlor and play putt-putt golf and do all the fun things that this community has to offer, because it's fun, and it is a small town beach feel. So again, it's not the chaos of a big city, but it's a fun thing to be able to experience when you're here.
And one little side note, which really kind of caught my attention, is that you are pet friendly.
We are.
Which is, I love that. Yeah. So how has that been? Have you noticed a lot of people really?
It is such a benefit for people. People's pets are their
children.
Their children, right? We call them their fur babies.
Yeah.
So it's funny because we have a dog and he is the biggest pain in the butt. So whenever I come, I do not bring my dog with me because I'm like, I don't want to be that person whose dog is barking the whole time.
Right.
And that would be my dog. So I do not bring my dog when I come out, only because he is a terribly behaved dog. But I do think it's a big deal for people to be able to travel with their pets. And again, for our guests who are within a couple hours of Sunburst Inn, it's not that deep in terms of being complicated to make a reservation here. You don't have to book a flight. You don't have to board your dog. You don't have to do all these things that make it prohibitive for people to want to take a vacation. Like, you can take a vacation and it's not that complicated because you don't have to do all of these things to make it work.
Right.
And because we're so small, like, I have a teenager, so when we come out here, he doesn't want to stay with us. He's 17, right?
I can relate.
but we can have a couple of rooms, so the teenagers are in their own room, mom and dad are in their own room, but we're all still right next door to each other. So again, it has it almost feels like your own home, but on this gorgeous beach location. So,
yes, I can't wait.
But the pet friendly thing has been huge. We just ask, obviously, that they are the well-behaved pets of respectful pet owners.
Oh, yes. No, I'm very big on that. Yeah. I have 2 dogs, but my younger one, he's a year old, and he's just a cute little thing. He's about 9 pounds. And
a little fur ball.
Yeah, he's a little hot dog, wiener dog. But yeah, I started noticing with him, whenever I take him anywhere, everyone is drawn to him just because he's, they're funny looking and they're cute. But he's getting really good at just being out and socializing with people. He loves it, and he's so well behaved. My other dog, I wouldn't take him because he's more of a challenge, but I just thought, what a fun opportunity.
He's a challenge. That's what mine is. Mine's a challenge.
What kind of dog do you have?
He is a Vizsla Pointer mix. Everybody thinks he's a chocolate lab.
Okay.
But so basically you take the 2 most wild spastic dogs and breed them, and that's what we got.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So he's a little bit wild.
Yes.
And ill-behaved. But the pet-friendly thing is huge.
Yeah, it really is. Really is. I've never done anything with my dog ever. My other dog is 8 years old, and I've never done that. And I started thinking, that's something different, and I should give it a try because he's got a little following on social media too. He does better than I do on some things. I'm just saying. It's funny.
A lot of people have social media accounts for their dogs.
They do.
And they're more popular than their people.
They are, because everyone loves dogs.
Of course.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to ask just a little bit, so the interior, again, I walk in, it's just happiness, sunshine. Yes. I love the colors. Are all of the rooms completely different as far as the coloring?
Okay. Yep. So when we were doing the show, one of the things that I spoke about with their designers, because the designers designed these rooms, I was able to have input as far as like the aesthetic that I was thinking. I'm not that person where I can walk into a room and go, oh, do this, 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 and this, and it'll look fabulous. I don't know how to do that. I can walk into a space and say, I love that space.
Right.
I think it looks beautiful, but don't set me loose in a store and expect that I know how to make that happen, because I don't. So in working with their designers, I told them I really want to have that retro throwback beachy type of feel. My husband wanted it to be like white and blue and shells and sand. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that.
You did phenomenal. It's perfect.
But another thing that I wanted to make sure was that every time a guest came, they could have a different experience in each room. So each room is a little bit different. They all have the same amenities, but every room, unlike a traditional hotel, is different. But it all looks like it belongs in one house.
Yeah.
So it's pretty.
It really is. Yeah. It really, like
and
I
this
said,
is one of my favorite rooms. It's very sunshiny and very just like bright, and it just, they were trying to match the colors of the sunset and of the beach, but pulled into the room.
I love it. No, it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal. And they're so cute. And each room has a little kitchenette. Like I said, you'll be able to see more video later, but I love it. It's just the whole retro look. It's beautiful, beautiful. Well, so for example, I just wanted you to share like where everyone can find you on social media.
Yeah. So if you want to book, this is something that I think is really important for people to learn too.
Okay. As
a savvy traveler, all of what are called the OTAs, which are the online travel agencies. So that's like Booking.com, Airbnb, VRBO, Travelocity. All of those OTAs charge a commission. So if you can, always try to book directly with your provider.
Gotcha.
So for example, Booking.com charges a percentage. So we, as a business owner, have to cover that commission.
Oh, yeah.
And so the price that you're going to pay through Booking.com is going to be more than if you do what's called book direct.
Yes.
So always try to book direct. So go to sunburstinn.com and book directly with us, and it's always going to be cheaper than any other platform out there. And most hotels are the same way, unless they have a surplus of rooms. So we don't have obviously 100 or 1,000 rooms here. So if they have a surplus of rooms, they may push it out there at a cheaper price, so that way they can just get their rooms filled. With 12 rooms, that's not an issue for us. We don't have a surplus of rooms to fill. But sunburstinn.com, if for whatever reason you have any challenges, you can always call us here directly, and our front desk staff can always help with that. You can find us on Instagram at sunburst_inn. You can find us on Facebook as well. But yeah, just booking direct, again, that's a big piece of advice that I have for people, wherever it is that you're staying, whether it's here with us or somewhere else in the country. Try to find that hotel's direct website. Okay. And almost always it's going to be cheaper for you that way.
Perfect. Yeah. Very, very good to know.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything you've done. I'm super excited to showcase this beautiful property.
Me too.
So I'll be doing all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And we'll also, when you post, I'm going to give you a discount code for 10%. So any followers that you have that want to book, make sure you guys look at Tracy's social media on Instagram, so that way you can share your discount code and people can take advantage at a 10% off.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Tracy Forks Around Town. I'll have links for discounts and everything else that you need to just, if you have interest in booking a stay at this beautiful property. So thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my new YouTube channel, which can be found at Forking Around Town. There's lots of fun videos, and you'll get to see a more in-depth video of this hotel property and my wonderful stay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.